Ni hao from Qingdao. As my time in China comes to an end, and after a few years of living here, today I want to talk about the 10 things I like and dislike about the country. However, I'm not alone. I'm joined by Silene. We're meant to go on a cable car ride, but unfortunately it was closed. So I've ended up at this temple. So I'm going to begin with the 5 things I love and then the 5 things I hate about the country. Let's begin. Number 5 on the things I don't like about China has to be the hospitals. And I'm not talking about the doctors and nurses because they do a great job. But if you've ever been to a Chinese hospital, they're overcrowded. There's always too many people and you're always pushing and barging to get your way through the hospitals. But even when you have an appointment, the Chinese people, they don't know how to queue. So if you have your appointment with the doctor, people will just be walking in as you're speaking with the doctor. If you have some important things to talk about as you're having your appointment, people are just walking in and out. So yeah, no privacy in that in a hospital. So that's going to be number 5. Number 4 is privacy. Now I'm not talking about security cameras and the country watching you, all these kind of comments you hear about China. I'm talking about WeChat. Now this is an app that's similar to Facebook. It's used for messaging people as well as showing you pictures and videos of your life. However, in China, this is the main way to contact one another. So if you're at work and you have your colleagues on this app, this means they can see your life and they can message you out of hours. So there's really no work-life balance when you have this app. Would you agree?
Yeah, but we still use QQ, and you contact the customers and your colleagues use on QQ, but your boss and your colleagues still add your WeChat. They will call you and spy on your photo, your life. They will call you when you are on holiday.
Yeah, so they do have other apps, but WeChat is the main one. And yeah, I'd say there's no privacy and no barrier when you have this app. So that's going to be number 4. Number 3 on our list has to be tourists. I'm talking about the expats living here. Usually when you see foreigners in China, they always stick together, especially if they're going to bars or hanging out. They always stay in their little groups. The French stick together, the Germans stick together, the Russians stick together. So when they're going out and about, they should talk to the Chinese people, meet with the locals. You're in another country. That's what you should be doing. Don't just stay in your own little groups. And also be more happy. They always look so dull and down. So number 3 is going to be tourists. Number 2 on the things I hate about China has to be spitting. So you go to a beautiful place like a temple over here and you'll just see people spitting on the floor and they'll do this loud noise with their throat like, and they'll just spit on the floor. Doesn't matter where you are, you could be walking down the street. And the worst part about it, sometimes they'll make that noise and they'll hold the spit in their throat for a good few seconds before they spit it out. And they'll just spit on the street. You could just be walking past them. So that has to be number 2. Would you agree?
Yeah, what about British? British farted so loud on the train, on the subway.
So what's
and the fart sounds so wet.
So what's worse, farting or spitting? But that definitely has to be number 2. Number 1 on the thing I hate the most about China has to be it's too big. There's too much to see and do. I mean, I don't know a country where in the north you have the mountains, in the west you have the desert, and in the south you have beaches that look like Thailand. So if you come to China, it's really difficult to spend your whole time traveling around the whole country. First, it's really expensive, but 2, just staying in one place or even one province, you need at least a good few weeks. So that is going to be number 1. That is too big. Now, here are the 5 things I love about the country. So starting off with number 5, and this is a bit of a random one, but it's really important. I'm going to say drinking culture. So Chinese people love to drink. They even have an alcohol that's 75% called baijiu. But if you ever go to a bar or you go to a dinner with a Chinese person, at first they seem really shy. But give them a drink and they love to drink and drink. They won't, it's almost like a race for them when you're drinking with Chinese people. They'll just say, lai, lai, and you just cheers and they say ganbei and they down their drinks and they just drink until they can't drink anymore. And this one's a bit of an alcoholic as well.
No, I'm not.
But what do you think? Chinese people love to drink. What would you say?
Depends. North people is quite good on drink. They
Drink.
have skill, yeah, drink skill.
Yeah.
South people can't wait.
Yeah, so Chinese people are really proud if they can drink a lot. If you don't drink with them, it's almost sometimes seen as disrespectful. So that's going to be number 5, the drinking culture in China. Number 4 is going to be food. Now the food in China is so good compared to what you get in the West and you order your Chinese takeaway. The food in mainland China is really different. So every place you go to usually has its own cuisine. So the north and south of China all have different dishes. So number 4 is going to be the food. Also, I'm going to put with that affordability. So if you go to a Chinese restaurant, usually a Chinese restaurant is much cheaper than a McDonald's or a KFC. So food in China is also really affordable. What's your favorite Chinese food?
1, 2, 3, hot pot. Why you don't say that?
Hot pot. Yeah, hot pot is really good. I think
Fire.
that's my favorite food actually. Hot pot. Yeah. Since being here, that's been my go-to dish. Definitely try hot pot if you ever come to China. So food is was it number 4? Number 4. Okay, number 4 is food. Number 3 on the things I love about the country has to be the technology. So I spoke about the app WeChat earlier, which is really good for paying for things, but they also have others for ordering food or ordering clothes, which are really convenient once you know what they all say in Chinese. And the Chinese Amazon, which is called Taobao, let me just show you. So you just literally, if you want to buy something, you can just open up the app and you scan someone's clothes and it straight away gives you a list of everything you want to buy. So I could buy this jacket from all these different sellers on the Chinese Amazon, which is called Taobao. So really convenient once you know how the apps work and what they all mean in Chinese. So number 3 is going to be technology. Number 2 on the things I love about China has to be the construction. Now I'm talking about how fast they build things and how efficient they are when it comes to making houses or railway or roads. Whenever you see anything being built in China, the first thing that comes to mind is thinking, the road's blocked or it looks ugly within the community. However, give it a couple weeks and you can really start to see the progress of the things that are being built here. In England, whenever something gets built, it will take years and years. You're waiting and you never see anyone working. So, got this speaker. So, number 2 has to be how fast things are built in China. Number 1, the thing I like most about China has to be public transport. Now, the buses and trains in China are all really cheap and affordable. I mean, it's in the name, it's public transport. It should be for everyone. And here in China, it's very accessible for the people, meaning they can go to and from work, not having to worry about the cost of going from their homes or coming back from work. Also, they're very clean. Getting a bus or the train in China, you won't see any rats in the railway tracks or, rubbish on the floor. They keep them nice and clean. They all look brand new. So I'd have to say, number 1, the best thing about China is the public transport. So those were my 10 things I love and hate about China. Let me know in the comments what you love and hate about China or if you've ever been, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.